It is an annual rite of spring, bringing with it excitement and emotion that can be found in no other sporting event. The NCAA Tournament. Your wait is finally over, the brackets are ready, and the drama of March Madness is about to begin. Hello everyone, I'm Greg Gumbel, and this is the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Joining me at the anchor desk, as always, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. There's at least one change in the rankings to tell you about. We have a new team in the top 25 this week, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Break into the poll as the number 25 team. The poll voters have had their say in the national ranking since November, but the time has come to hand over the reins to the selection committee. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA tournament bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
Portland isn't among the very strongest of the non-power conference teams, but they're pretty close. I'm sure they were hoping for a better showing at their conference tournament. Now it's sit and wait time.
And we have a few more teams in similar position, right, Clark?
Michigan should be considered among the best of the major conference teams not holding an automatic bid. But there are plenty of non-power conference teams knocking on the door that may prevent them from getting an invitation.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Mean Green of North Texas are the top overall seed, and they will play in the Charlotte Regional. They begin the tournament as the dominant team in college basketball. They've been ranked #1 in the media poll for the past 13 weeks. We'll soon find out if they can live up to their billing. On to the second #1 seed, who will play in the Houston Regional, their third NCAA championship in school history. The Texas Southern Tigers are our third #1 seed, and they'll play in the Detroit Regional. They're back in the tournament again, and no doubt they'll be feeding off the experience of last year's appearance as they try to get to the Final Four this year. And finally, our fourth #1 seed will play in the Phoenix Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are in the tournament field as a #1 seed for the third time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the #1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the Charlotte Regional will play the winner of the Houston Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Detroit Regional will play the winner of the Phoenix Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 1st. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April the 3rd. Any surprises in there for you, Clark?
The Texas Southern Tigers is a surprise to me. They were on the fence as a #1 seed, and in that situation, you always expect to see a major conference team win that tiebreaker. But the committee saw something in them that they liked.
So, with the #1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the Charlotte Regional. The Mean Green of North Texas are the top seed, finishing at 33-2. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Sun Belt Conference. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between Elon, with 14 wins, and Wisconsin from the Big Ten. And now, the #8 seed, the Santa Clara Broncos, come into the tournament on the strength of a third-place finish in their conference regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They're going to play the #9 seed, the Eastern Michigan Eagles, who were regular season champions in their conference, finishing at 19-8. Seton Hall enters the field as the #4 seed from the Big East. This will be their 17th appearance all-time in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the #13 seed, the St. Peter's Peacocks, finished the season with 18 wins.
The Seton Hall Pirates have more to prove than any other team in this tournament. They haven't had a lot of experience in the tournament recently, so it's difficult to say exactly how they'll handle it. They've shown they're capable of playing with the best teams in the nation during the regular season. Now they need to show they belong with those teams come tournament time.
Mississippi State comes in as the #5 seed, finishing at 17-10. And they will take on the 12th seed from the A-10 Conference, the LaSalle Explorers, with 20 wins. Next up is the number 2 seed. The Florida Gators have established themselves as one of the best teams from the SEC. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the Wichita State Shockers, with 16 wins. This marks their 10th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Our number 7 seed is from the WAC. The Louisiana Tech Bulldogs had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Indiana Hoosiers, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 16-10. Morehead State comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 23-2. Montana State comes in to face them at number 14 with 17 wins in the tournament championship of the Big Sky. The Arkansas Razorbacks are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Georgia State Panthers, with 20 wins. What a tremendous regional final we'd have in this bracket if the number 1 and 2 seeds here make it through the first 3 rounds unscathed. That could be one of the games of the tournament. Next up, we'll take a look at the Houston Regional. Finishing at 26-0. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Northeast Conference. They'll take on the Charleston Southern Buccaneers, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 4th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. Boston College comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at 18-13. Penn State comes in to face them at number 9 with 16 wins and a chance to make believers out of any doubters they might have. Illinois comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 19-9. And they'll take on the 13th seed from the WAC, the Fresno State Bulldogs, with 16 wins. Clemson enters the field as the number 5 seed from the ACC. This will be their 17th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Northern Illinois Huskies, finished the season with 18 wins.
The Clemson Tigers will be an extremely dangerous team in this tournament, mainly because they have such terrific veteran leadership. Coaches love when they have guys on the floor that have been around the block a few times because they don't get rattled. They play with composure. I look at the experience of this team as something that could put them over the top.
Our number 2 seed is from the Big 12. The Oklahoma Sooners are on a hot streak, having just won their conference tournament championship. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Colorado State Rams, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 17-14. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Fordham Rams have established themselves as one of the best teams from the A-10 conference. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Texas Longhorns, with 20 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. The Washington State Cougars are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Yale Bulldogs, with 16 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the Pittsburgh Panthers, come into the tournament as the 4th place team in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Georgetown Hoyas, who were 5th in their conference, finishing at 16-10. Some of the lower seeds in this bracket have the ability to not only compete with the high seeds, but win a few games. The potential for a Cinderella or two in this bracket is definitely there. On to our 3rd bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the Detroit Regional. The Texas Southern Tigers are the top seed, finishing at 25-2. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. They'll take on the Delaware State Hornets, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 2nd appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. Our number 8 seed is from the Big East. The Cincinnati Bearcats were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Red Storm of St. John's, who were 3rd in their conference, finishing at 20-10. Richmond enters the field as the number 4 seed from the A-10 conference. This marks their 13th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Vanderbilt Commodores. Finished the season with 18 wins.
The Richmond Spiders are a team that is just so powerful and strong up front. I would put their front court up against just about any other teams in the nation right now. It's always good to have strong guard play, but if you ask most coaches, I guarantee you they take the good big man over the good little man most times. Their interior play should serve them very well in this competition.
The Aggies of Texas A&M are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Mustangs of Cal Poly, with 17 wins. Iowa State comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 22-9. Mercer comes in to face them at number 15 with 18 wins in the tournament championship of the Atlantic Sun Conference. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Baylor Bears have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big 12. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the South Carolina Gamecocks, with 19 wins. This marks their 16th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. And now the number 3 seed, the Oregon Ducks, come into the tournament after finishing second in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Lumberjacks of Stephen F. Austin, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 21-7. Oklahoma State comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 18-12. And they take on the 11th seed from the Colonial Athletic Association, the Drexel Dragons, with 16 wins. This bracket has the potential to give us a sensational matchup in the regional final if everything goes according to form and the top 2 seeds can survive the early rounds. And finally, let's have a look at the Phoenix Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are the top seed, finishing at 28-6. They were winners of the regular season championship in the Big East. They'll take on the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 7th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Next up is the number 8 seed. The Michigan State Spartans have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big Ten. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Virginia Tech Hokies, with 20 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. Washington comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 18-8. Lehigh comes in to face them at number 13 with 18 wins in the tournament championship of the Patriot League. UTEP comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 21-6. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Mountain West Conference, the Brigham Young Cougars, with 16 wins. Kansas enters the field as the number 2 seed from the Big 12. It's yet another appearance in the brackets for a school that's no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed. The Flames of Illinois Chicago finished the season with 15 wins.
The Kansas Jayhawks are going to provide serious matchup problems to any team that doesn't have depth and defensive ability at both guard spots. They have outstanding backcourt play at both ends of the court. It's the main reason they've made it this far, and they're going to have to maintain that form if they want to do some damage in this tournament.
And now the number 7 seed, the American Eagles, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 19-11. The North Carolina Tar Heels are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Vermont Catamounts, with 19 wins. Our number 6 seed is from the Big West. The Long Beach State 49ers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Titans of Cal State Fullerton, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 16-11. On the surface, I'd have to say this regional might be the most difficult of the 4. Certainly the depth of quality teams here is very impressive. Whoever emerges from this bracket will have been through some battles. Clark, give us your take on the tournament's top 16 seeds.
There are no real off-the-wall picks that jump out at me. These 16 teams are all pretty deserving. Let's give the committee some props this year. North Texas is going to be an extremely difficult matchup for any and all of their opponents. I say all of their opponents because I think they'll have a lot of them. They're going a long way in this tournament.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Big 12 gets 8 teams. The Big East with 6, 5 out of the SEC. The Big 10 gets 5 teams.
What a down year for the non-power conferences. We're used to seeing at least one of those conferences compete on the level of the power conferences, but not this year.
And let's not forget the teams out of the Big West. For a small conference, they competed at a very high level this year. Those teams could be the place to look if you're trying to find a Cinderella story in the tournament.
I'm surprised there were so few bids for the teams in Conference USA. It was an especially disappointing year for that conference. Usually you can count on a few of the nation's elite teams coming out of there, but this was a season where very few of those teams could maintain any type of positive momentum.
Here's the list of the teams that were on the bubble heading into Selection Sunday. So, partner, which of those invitees should be sending the selection committee a thank you card?
Cal State Fullerton must feel a whole lot better now than they did before the show started. Their ticket is punched, and they're on their way to the dance. But frankly, I'm not sure for just how long they'll be dancing.
While they start prepping for their first-round games, the 5 teams on the other side of the page will be full-time students again.
George Mason stumbled to the finish line coming down the stretch. And that's not the way to close out the season if you're hoping for an at-large bid. When they couldn't get it done in their conference tournament, their goose was cooked.
All right, Clark, now that we know all the teams and matchups, time to get the tournament underway and let the madness take over.
Greg, it's going to be a fantastic tournament. We've got an outstanding field and a lot of sensational players. I guarantee there are some memorable moments soon to come.
For my partner Clark Kellogg and for all of us here in the 2K Sports Studios, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us on the NCAA Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy all the excitement of the NCAA tournament.